Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another interesting, thoughtful, empowering message. Today's message actually comes from an anecdote which I remembered, which my grandmother used to tell us when I was a little girl. We used to call our grandmom, fondly address her as Amma. So every night, whenever she used to find time, she used to tell us interesting stories and anecdotes. And one such anecdote has stayed with me all these years, and I thought I'll share it with all of you. And the anecdote goes like this. One early morning, this holy man went on the banks of the river Ganges to take a holy dip early morning. And after taking his holy bath, this holy dip in the river Ganges, he returned back. While he was returning back, right bang in the middle of the path, he saw the dead body of a dog. And it had probably been lying there for a couple of days, and it was just right there, bang in the middle of the road. And so the moment he saw that dead body, it had almost started decaying, and there was a foul stench coming from that carcass or the dead body of the dog. And he paused there, looked at the dead body of the dog, came closer to it, sat down on his knees, and almost surveyed, closely observed that dog, and started smiling. And so there were a few passers-by, who were passing by, and they were a little perplexed looking at this holy man. They came closer to him and asked him that, holy sage, there is foul stench coming from the dead body. It's a very ugly sight. The dead body is decaying and it's not a very pretty sight. But here you are, you have come closer to that dead body and you are smiling, and there is this very nice, calm, gentle smile on your face. So what is making you smile? What is that's making you so happy? We can't even stand this sight. It is such an ugly sight. So the holy man stood up and said that, I know that there is foul smell coming from this body, and I know for most of you it's not an ugly sight, but can't you see the bright, shiny, pearly white teeth of this dog? It has caught my attention, and I am kind of, can't take my eyes off these white, shining teeth that this dog had when it was alive. Hearing this, the men who were there standing and who had asked were speechless. And the anecdote ends there. Now, I'm sure I'll pause for a moment, and I want all of you to think, what is the message? What is the moral? What is the lesson that we can take from this very empowering, very thoughtful anecdote? Can you all think about it? All right, let me tell you. All these years, very honestly, I really couldn't understand the meaning or the essence of this anecdote or this story. But after all these years, after experiencing life and learning the lessons of life, today I think I can put this anecdote in perspective. And what this story is telling me, is teaching me, is that there are going to be a lot of things which are going to make you unhappy, which are going to upset you, which are not going to be as per your wishes, desires and aspirations. There are going to be things which are going to be negative and toxic and ugly, right? But then what do we do with them? How do we react to them is something which is in our prerogative, is something which we can choose to do. Now, taking the cue from this particular anecdote, the holy man, like everybody else, could have, kind of made faces and said, oh my God, who has thrown this dead body right bang in the middle of the road? People don't have manners, and oh my God, what an ugly sight, what a foul stench. He could have, just complained about it, cribbed about it, fretted about it, and just being very negative about it, being upset about it. But he didn't choose to do that. He, in fact, on the contrary, chose to look at the positives of that dead body. And when he focused on the positives, he realized that, the dog, actually the dead body of that dog actually had white, shining, pearly white teeth, beautiful set of teeth, right? So that's the lesson. Each individual, each one of us, I'm sure there are scores and scores and scores of things that are going to upset us, that are, just not up to our desires, or up to our, what we want, up to our likes. But that does not mean that we should start complaining about them, fretting about them, being negative about them. Instead, we can choose to look at the brighter side of life, brighter side of situations and scenarios, right? There's another very popular quote, which I'm sure many of you would have heard, and I'll repeat, which kind of corroborates the same thought, the same message, which is, two men looked out of the prison bars. Two men looked out of the prison bars. One saw mud and the other saw stars. So both these men were in similar situation. They both were inside the prison. But one man chose to look at the negatives and be unhappy about it, at the mud, the filth, the stench, the slush, the negativity, while the other one chose and opted to look at the bright starry skies and be happy about it. So there is always something, to be fortunate about, to be thankful about. So dear friends, instead of complaining, start counting your blessings. Just flip your mindset, flip your attitude, and you will see there will be a dynamic paradigm shift in your life. Early morning while going to work, instead of cribbing and complaining, look at the traffic, look at the people, look at the congestion, look at the overflowing drains, look at the garbage. Instead of focusing on the negatives, let's start focusing on the positives. Let's look at the bright, the shiny sun. Look at the smiling faces of the children who are going to school. Look at the beautiful men draped in saris and suits walking up. Look at the good things of life, and you will always feel blessed and fortunate. So let's change the way we think. Let's change our perspective, shift our perspective, and start focusing on the good things that we have. There are so many things that we can be thankful, that we can be grateful. We have a loving family, we have a healthy body, we have a roof on top of our heads, we have 2 square meals of food every time. We have friends, we have family, we have so much to be thankful about. So let's focus on these things instead of always complaining and crying on things which are not right, which are not working. All right? I think that this was a very simple, sweet, but again, a very empowering thought. Start doing it, and believe you me, there will be a magical change and shift in the way things pan out in your life. All right? So bye, take care. Till I see you again. Love and light to all of you.